Hillary Clinton trying to make her closing statements, and WikiLeaks and the investigation of Anthony Weiner's computer files, and as Jennifer Griffin mentioned, sort of soldiering on without her longtime aide, Huma Abedin, who did make it to a D.C. fundraiser. First time we've seen Huma out and about since all this started.
FBI, will you be back out on the campaign trail soon?
I guess she didn't want to answer that. No answer. Alex Conant is with us today. Served as former communications director for Marco Rubio and a political consultant for Firehouse Strategies, and Emily Tish Sussman, campaign director at the Center for the American Progress Action Fund. Welcome to both of you. Good to have you here today. You know, you look at what's been going on. It's a very tight race at this point, Emily. And, you know, how much of it do you think is what has changed the dynamic and tightened things up so much when you see that list from Ed?
I don't think it makes a huge difference, honestly. There's been discussion ad nauseum about Clinton and emails, and people don't totally know what it is, but they feel like there's something bad every time you talk about Clinton in emails, even though everything that's come out has actually not been bad. So the problem for Clinton is that it feels like smoke, 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 there must be fire, but there's never any fire. But it becomes so clouded, it's difficult for people to wade through. So I think people have either said, yes, this is a huge deal for me, or I think it's just a lot of noise, and I think that she's the right candidate.
But let's take a look, and then we want to go to Alex, at some of the shift that has happened in the polls. Some are calling it the Comey effect. And she has lost her lead. This really lays it out quite clearly. Florida flipped, Arizona flipped, and Nevada flipped. And North Carolina went from being plus 2.4 for Hillary Clinton. Now it is at a tie. So, Alex, the only other thing that's been significant in that time period is the focus as people opened their Obamacare premiums.
That's true.
Two big issues that may have turned this thing.
I think there's no question that the Comey effect is real, that ever since the FBI announced that it is still investigating Hillary Clinton, her numbers have been in free fall. I mean, she went from being up about 7 points nationwide to being up 2 or 3 points nationwide. It is now a very competitive race going into next Tuesday. And I think it's because a lot of Americans realize that if she is elected president, we are going to have a president-elect under investigation by the FBI, and we don't know where it ends. That is bad for the country, irrespective of your politics. Look, I'm not a fan of Hillary Clinton, and I don't mind if she's elected president. I would hope that her domestic agenda would be crippled. But internationally, it's very scary to have a president who is so weak, who's under investigation. I think that's why a lot of Republicans, especially, are coming home in these final days.